Lamar Jackson has had questions surrounding his legitimacy as a quarterback dang near his whole football career. From high school, college, where team after team refused to recruit him as a quarterback, and to the NFL, where he is seen as nothing more than a flashy gimmick. Now, most of these questions and narratives aren't too malicious, the majority of them coming from the fact that everything about this man is unconventional. No one has ever seen a quote-unquote elite quarterback pride themselves on only throwing 150 yards a game. No one has ever seen a team pride themselves on taking down opponents by feeding them a healthy diet of RPO after RPO with a 45-yard QB rushing TD for dessert. At least nowhere near this level. And come on guys, let's be honest. Lamar is objectively barely a top 10 passer in the league. That's me being very generous. And at the end of the day, the NFL, its media apparatus, and its fans simply haven't seen a quarterback who not only isn't one of the premier throwers of the ball, but also runs as much as they throw, dare call themselves elite. That's the Lamar Trap in essence. His name cannot be brought up without someone mentioning his passing yards and touchdowns. Because he doesn't play like Mahomes or Brady, arbitrary narratives will continue to pop up left and right. Now that's the main gist of this video. Now we're going to go in depth, we're going to look at specific examples in his young NFL career. But if you have places to be, leave a like and a comment and have a great day. Now for everyone else, let's get right into it. To really understand the complexities and the nuances, we have to go back to 2019. Specifically that divisional round between the Titans and the Ravens. Lamar and the Ravens were coming off a season where they ascended out of nowhere. The so-called running back had an MVP season, leading one of the most unique offenses in league history to a 14-2 record. He went into the playoffs with a blistering hot 12-game winning streak and played a Titans team who limped into the postseason with only a massive chip on their shoulder. And you all know what happened. They got embarrassed on their own field. Derrick Henry was shoved down their throats time and time again, and they got off to a slow start. Lamar's inadequacy throwing the ball killed any chance of a possible comeback. In the aftermath of this bloodbath, everyone and their mamas went in with their edgy hot takes, and suddenly narratives materialized out of thin air. The biggest and dumbest one being that Lamar wasn't a playoff performer, that his unique style was just a regular season gimmick, repeated by talking heads to the point where it was generally accepted that Lamar has something to prove this postseason. Just think about it. That was only his second postseason start, his first being his rookie year where he was thrown into the fire midway through the season. Mind you, this was not applied to his fellow QB draftees, Mayfield and Allen. Once again though, not for malicious reasons, simply because he is seen and criticized on a higher level than a guy who never graced a postseason field and a dude who was carried there by his defense. As the reigning MVP, Lamar was being compared to guys like Mahomes and Russell Wilson, and understandably so, and that brings us to present day. At this point, it was pretty clear that going into this game, the Titans were the Ravens' level 5 boss. Their emblem signifying their first barrier to postseason success, and the myriad of doubt and narratives that hanged over them. Eventually overcame the test after a slow start. By the way, I'm still wincing at that initial interception. Due to their defense winning the battle of attrition on the lines, and their RPOs hitting time and time again, opening up the field for other forms of offense, they slayed their beast. And understandably, there was no love lost between them. But what's next? Despite outthrowing Tannehill and outrunning Derrick Henry, he didn't have 760 passing yards or 9 passing TDs this game. That's the Lamar Trap. There is nothing Lamar can do that will legitimize him as a QB for the vast majority of talking heads. Of course, Twitter, there will always be Twitter trolls. We as a collective are hardwired to see QBs in a certain way. There's a clear picture of what a good game is for a QB. 300 to 400 yards, 3 passing touchdowns. Anything less will be considered a gimmick. Always something else he would need to prove to legitimize his spot as an elite QB. Same thing will happen in the next match against the Bills. A very interesting matchup, by the way, two of the most underrated QBs of the 2018 first round. If he loses, you know what's coming. If he wins, it's on to the next challenge. Lamar, due to his unique abilities and early success, is one of those rare athletes who has been thrusted into a stratosphere of their own, a level where they simply cannot be judged by the same standards as others. He can never be brought up in a conversation without someone mentioning his throwing ability or playoff wins compared to some other player. He's a player who will always face shifting goalposts, and don't fall into the trap of defending him against each and every one of these assaults, cause they're coming. And understand that they happen because Lamar is uniquely Lamarvelous. That is all I have for y'all today. If you like this video and you want to see more football commentary from me, consider liking and commenting down below. Stay tuned, I got a lot of video essays in the pipeline. I might even do a funky diabetic style where I just put 2 pictures and talk, because it takes a lot less time than editing all these videos. But yeah, until next time, stay safe.